Okay, we were just actually discussing that we were both experiencing almost these thoughts and like a mischievous, or I can actually turn into the far end of it, quite malicious, the relationship destroying energy, and we don't want to not take responsibility. But what is this energy that seems to almost be trying to sabotage our lives at the moment? Do you?
So imagine in a plane of creation. So you are creating as individuals, you are co-creating, and you are creating as a consciousness. The other version, the higher levels of your combined, what you are combined thinking and feeling and experiencing. There's a greater structure around all of it. So you've got your own journey. Then you've got your journey with your people that you're selecting, husbands, kids, relationships, partners that you have. And then you've got all of you collectively, like if you can imagine all the bits of a cell, and then there's the cell, which is the greater consciousness. Now in this space, you guys are creating almost like evil spirits, like because you've become so bored of certain things, you're creating almost challenges in a spiritual realm to bring out stuff, to trigger. They're like triggers, they're like activators. However, some of these energies have got their own awareness, their own life force that's now almost like it's almost like, and it's going to sound crazy from where you are, but imagine in the spiritual realm, we're not talking about the physical at all, that there are spirits or demons, things, entities, energies, bits that are created by your collective consciousness, that are now creating their own consciousness, that are creating their own way of being, feeding off the destruction of what it's creating. It's like a naughty child throwing a stone through a window, thinking, oh, shouldn't do that, getting a kick, knowing it's wrong, and then keeps doing it, and goes to another house, and then does. And so it's like this energy is born, and it's now entertaining itself through the destruction of relationships. So it comes in as when you see your partner behaving, and you've all seen this, your partner behaving as a different character, and yourself.
Yeah.
You'll become the bossy mom, or the cold, aloof ice queen, or the Marlboro man, or the snotty whatever bitchy person, or the rebellious teenager. Then in that state you think, this is real, this person. When you're being it, you have no idea you're being it. No. You just feel
other
really
people can
horrible.
hear it in your voice. Yeah.
So you can hear it, you can definitely observe the behavior is different.
Mm-hmm.
The person in it doesn't see it.
No.
They think that they're completely normal. What's wrong with you? I'm just being me. It's you, actually.
Yeah.
Where have you gone? And
true.
so you've got this entity like puppets.
Yeah.
And then enjoying the destruction of the relationship. So the moment you're observing the character of the partner, friend, person, family member, you've got to be gentle, because they're waiting to activate you.
Yeah.
They want you to be activated in your whatever character, so the puppet's going to have a massive show. And if you engage, you're going to get sucked in, because you're not going to be your truest version of you. You're going to be taken and used as something that's going to be in part of the show.
And there's going to be nothing left, like this whole week was like this.
In the end, everything will be destroyed. Every relationship will be destroyed, because ultimately, if we allow this energy to continue, so be very mindful of thoughts that are unloving of people, hateful thoughts. I hate this person, they shouldn't be like this, look at them, you want to destroy them. Any thoughts that are destructive about that person, you have to block those thoughts. Breathe, let that energy out of your body. You've got to command that energy out. You've got to go back to a source of love. You've got to activate the love to get rid of.
So when you're saying command the energy out of your body, so say for example, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, that one friend of mine, she's just toured all over the world, and she's now a famous singer, and I feel so, I hate her. Okay, so what do I do now with that?
So first, you hope that you're going to have an awareness that you're having that thought.
Yeah.
But at the level that you are functioning now, you should all know the moment you are being destructive. You might be in it and being destructive, but there's a thought of, this doesn't feel right, this feels evil. And there's some happy energy sometimes attached. Like, I actually feel good.
There's a good reason why I don't like pedophiles.
Because look, yes. So the moment you become aware, you've got a door, you've got a gap in where you can put your foot in and stop that thought. The moment you start realizing, wow, I'm being really, really unkind and unloving right now. Is that my natural state? Is that my true state of being? Well, no. We've seen 100 times. No, your natural state is not argumentative, fighting, destructive, nasty, jealous, resentful, angry, bitter, twisted. That's not your natural state. Okay, your natural state is peaceful and beautiful. Anything that's not peaceful and beautiful and heavenly and kindly and divine and beautiful and is not your true state. You really, if you don't know the difference between those states, go back a few lessons and go and learn that first. The moment you know there's two different states, top spiral, bottom spiral, the moment you understand that you are now doing something of the bottom spiral, it's a warn. Your body is your signal. It says, you're not feeling love, hello. You've got to now practice what you preach. You've got to stop that thought and instruct. You've got to command that energy to leave your body.
How do you command it?
Leave my body. Get out. I want to feel love. I am love. I'm in a state of love. I'm giving love. I'm being love. No, I'm not doing it. And it comes back in. You need to fight this thing because it's continuously.
It likes coming in first thing in the morning when I wake up. Sometimes it'll just be like,
hello,
you're like
good morning.
This crap.
Yeah, look at this shuttle. No, it's actually not. But then you allow that one thought. Then he gets his buddy to come. Oh, she's an easy target. Come on, let's get in. Your husband's really bad. Look, he's left something on the counter. And then your husband comes and he's like, oh, look at this shithole. Oh, what? She said something about the countertop. Screw her. And so
the puppet shows.
The puppet show starts. I'm leaving you. I'm leaving you. And ultimately, if that puppet show goes on for too long and you're allowing this to carry on,
you will leave each other.
You will.
And then afterwards realize.
Then you'll be like, when you get back into a state of love, you'll be like, what have I done?
Yeah, wrecked everything.
What have I done? And then you have to collect all those broken bits. It's like having a really nasty child just going crazy in your house with a bat and a ball and running around and smashing everything up, and you allowing it to do it. You're watching this child without commanding it and saying, listen, this is not the state that we want to be in. I'm not going to entertain really horrible thoughts about my wife, my kid, my husband, my boss. It's
even if there is so-called good reason, it's almost
there's never a good reason not to be in a state of love.
Like some kind of a good reason.
Lovely excuses for ways of being. You can find any excuse for being in that state. The silliest excuse. Stressed. I'm tired. I'm hungry. Didn't have a
Me
good
and my
day.
husband were joking. We're going, it's the I hate racists person.
It could be any of those persons. Those characters, the moment, is that a loving state?
No.
Is judgment a loving state?
No.
Is resentment?
Well, judgment and compassion can't sit in the same
You
boat.
can't have these things. But remember, the gift, in order to understand compassion, you've got to understand the polar opposite of that. Otherwise, you don't have the gift. So judgment says, oh, look, I could be judgmental right now. But what is the gift if I wasn't? Well, it would be compassion, empathy, grace. The new word of the day is grace. It's about having grace.
How would you define grace?
As being more in a state of looking outwardly, creating a safe space for someone else to go through whatever they're going through. You have grace. You understand, really, you shouldn't be treating me like this, and I get that, but I'm going to give you grace. I'm going to give you a space to work through that stuff at this moment because I'm in an okay place. Grace becomes difficult when both people are stuck in the dark. And we understand that it's difficult for you to get all of this and you kind of want to give up. A lot of you just want to like, I don't want to be anymore.
But we're right at the last bit of the hill, aren't
You're
we?
in the birthing canal. Soon things will be different. Just stick with it. Do your stuff. Listen, read, work, dance, move, have grace.
Practice grace.
Be
Practice
tolerance.
grace.
Be a little bit soft instead of so hard and rigid.
Okay, so grace. And by commanding these naughty entities away, they will go away.
Yes. They will go out into the because you're now saying to this energy that you've created, like you would a naughty child. Can you change a naughty child's behavior? Of course you can. By making it aware that what it's creating is destruction. We do not tolerate destruction on this plane, this reality, this awareness, this collective consciousness in my house, in my being, in my relationship.
My reality is based on love and kindness and care.
Yes, and if you do that and your partner does that, and what are you going to create as a collective consciousness?
Yeah.
Can you see what you do here, then there is what you are creating? Now you're creating these things, you're like, what have we done?
Yeah. Who are these evil persons?
But the fact that you've created them doesn't mean you can not uncreate them. You can uncreate them.
Okay.
So you can,
even if they have a consciousness of their own.
Yes, because they're only still part of your consciousness. It's like birthing a child. That child is still part of your DNA, your experience. You've just made a child. One child's really like, and one child's like really destructive. So how are you going to treat the destructive child? By punishing it and hitting it and beating it up?
Well, you could, but that's not going to work.
And say, come, love. Okay. And then it
but
transforms.
also, if you look at most people spend their time, I don't want to sound like one of these old, but we like, because we find life so stressful, people like to sit and watch television or films. And we've almost stopped doing it because what is being shown is so horrible, really.
What are you feeling?
So then I think a lot of people are still watching it without switching it off, and then
because it numbs.
That's creating more of this
of course,
violence. And
you are going to have. The problem is you're not alone on this planet. It would be awesome if you could have your own little planet, your own little experience.
Like cream soda rivers, and eat strawberries,
eat donuts and stuff, and you just like shake and dance and whatever naked in the bush, whatever your planet looks like. But you're not. So suddenly you're like, hey man, I'm doing my bit, you're not. And in that moment you become the judgment of that person, and you're sending out this little So if you want all of it to change, you've got to be that light. You've got to be it. You can't force it. You can't point. You can't just be that energy. Then that energy radiates into your home, your family, your environment, and then you're creating this beautiful bubble. When other people touch on that bubble, they create bigger bubbles, and eventually that is how you change the whole collective consciousness. It starts with each cell. If one diseased cell like a cancer grows, it can destroy the whole body. It can. But the same way, you can send something into that body that heals that cancer and brings it back to a state of love. So when you are in all this discord, you guys get very obsessed about stuff, but you're so negative, you don't look at what you have and the things that you've got around you, and gratitude, and really being appreciative. Those things enhance a greater feeling.
We tend to appreciate it once we've lost it.
Yes. Yes, and you can sit with sadness and guilt and resentment. I wish I had my husband still. I wish that I had that job. You can. The fact is, yes, you're going to have day-to-day, that's normal. You're going to have to make money because this is how you've designed it. This is how you've designed it. If you want to undesign it, you're going to have to come up with an undesigning plan. And if enough of you undesign it, then it becomes undesigned.
Yeah.
But at the moment, you're in a structure where you are exchanging one thing for another. You're exchanging. There's a continuous exchange. I'll give you this, you give me this. I'll give you that. You're exchanging in your household, in your relationship, in your day-to-day. You're continuous exchanging stuff. And you are now getting upset with this design. but you're in it. It's like resisting the birthing process again. You cannot resist the process. You've got to make peace with the fact that there are day-to-day stuff. If you continue to be moaning about the fact that you have to get up and go to work or get up and do something, then you've got to make a change in your environment and your state of being to reflect that, and hope that there's enough people feeling the same to change the whole collective consciousness of the planet. But then are you doing that thing? Are you lighting enough people to create that awareness and that consciousness? And if you're not, then just be quiet. Enjoy the experience that you've got in the best possible way that you can. Avoid all these negative, horrible things in your head and destroying your relationships.
Yeah.
You do want relationships on some level. It's not the be-all and end-all as you've created it. But you've chosen it that way. You've chosen, oh, we need to have husband, wife, kid, and this household and cars. This is how we've designed it. Now some people go, but I don't really like that design. And eventually if there's a lot of people doing that, then the design will change.
Yeah.